starting the recording now. And then I would like Anne to start.
Yes, thank you very much. It's about the decision that people have to make when they have like a newborn child with a CMN. And the decision is, do I have to remove it now when my child is still young? Or do I wait until my child is old enough to decide for themselves? But mostly the parents come to us, to the plastic surgeon, and they're always asking like, what do I need to do? So that's a really big problem for parents. And actually now I'm investigating what people think about that. Some things that are really important to know to make this decision. First of all, there's like no proof available at the moment that says when you remove actually the CMN, that then the chance of malignancy will be reduced. On the other hand, if you don't have a CMN anymore, you don't have to go every year to the dermatologist to check on your CMN. Advantages for waiting until the child has a good age to decide themselves. First of all, it's nice if a child can accept themselves how they are, and that the CMN is like a part of yourself. And if the child accepts themselves with CMN, and when they're 8 or 9 years old, they say, I don't want an operation, then it's really nice, because then they never had this operation, because an operation can have complications. It takes a lot of time, a lot of burden for the parents, a lot of burden for the child, because you have to go to the hospital every time, and you have this fear that the operation might not go well. So, well, there are also advantages of operating a child immediately, like they will never be teased, they will never experience stigma. But another thing is when you're operating a baby, the cosmetic results will be not much better, but maybe better than when you're operating a child of 8 years old, because the scars heals better, the skin of a baby is like, really elastic, so you can remove more skin of the CMN. So that are really big advantages of operating immediately. Other things is that a child might not remember their operation. They're not missing school. So when they're 8 years old, the operation takes a few weeks, so they miss all the school time.
I understand that there is no evidence that surgical removal of the nevus decreases the chances of melanoma, from what you said. So, but the child would receive decreased medical attention because the nevus is not there anymore, and so dermatological appointments will be reduced, correct?
Yeah.
So wouldn't these, like, if we do not have evidence that the risk of melanoma is decreased, wouldn't this pose the child at risk of receiving less medical attention for a condition that could still present even though surgical removal has been done?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Yes, actually it is. It's a difficult question to answer, because the really small ones have not really a bigger risk of developing melanoma than I do, like every person in the world. So the ones smaller than 20 centimeters and the ones bigger than 20 centimeters have like a really, really, really small increased risk. So still, not much more than I do. And then when they're like really large, then they have a bigger risk. But how much bigger, nobody knows, because research is so difficult to do on those people, because there are so few people having really large CMN, and then more like less people of those people get the melanoma. So the exact number we don't know, and the exact risk we don't know as well. But the ones smaller than 20 centimeters at adulthood don't have a really big increased risk. So you can remove them without being afraid missing it later in life.
I think it's really interesting to put on the slide advantages and disadvantages. Also, we think that the boundaries are somewhat blurred and mitigated by the lack of knowledge of some aspects. I think that another thing that needs to be understood is we are not talking about intervention, a single intervention, but multiple interventions over time. So it depends on the cases, but the memory of the child of the intervention could be persistent, especially for those cases who are starting an intervention and doing repeated ones over time. They probably leave a trace in the memories experience.
Okay, so even in babies, it can leave a trace. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Buonasera. Allora, io vi volevo raccontare che appunto allacciandomi al discorso che avete detto prima, che un bambino che si opera da piccolo non ha ricordi, io ricordo tutto degli interventi. I miei interventi non sono stati 2 o 3, sono stati molto numerosi, più di 20, più di 30. Precisamente non ve lo so indicare perché poi i racconti dei miei genitori non sono stati così precisi, però io mi ricordo tutto, mi ricordo la paura, mi ricordo gli odori, mi ricordo il dolore provato e il terrore proprio del bambino che sa a cosa andrà incontro, specialmente non nei primi interventi ma in quelli successivi.
Posso chiedere quanti anni avevi?
Io ho iniziato a 18 giorni e ho terminato gli interventi a 5 anni e mezzo.
Yeah, thank you very much for this contribution. So, yeah, that's really good for us to know that when you're still really small, you still can remember things and can be really traumatic as well.